One of the important things in life I have found is the importance of honesty. And how that relates to what I'm doing right about now is this. I must confess that I am currently completely, totally, well and truly out of my depth. I have absolutely no knowledge of this kind of car. None. This belongs to my good buddy Adam Ivel, fellow YouTuber. Check him out. If you've seen our respective channels, you probably think that we wouldn't get along very well, but actually we do. We get along very well indeed, and so Adam's been very kind to share with me a couple of his prized possessions. In return, I've let him have a go at my Ferrari. Now, I've just got out of his lovely, big, wafty V8 powered BMW M3, and now it's time for this. He did explain the car to me in great detail, taught me to all of the wonderful, rare and unusual things it had, and all I really heard was something Honda, something EG6, something spoon, something don't break it. If you want to know the full details of what this car is and what it means to Adam, please check out the video on his channel. This video. What I know is this. This is an early 1990s Civic. That means the indicators are on the side where I didn't think I would find them. More accurately, this is a Civic SIR. It is the JDM, the Japanese domestic market version of the Civic VTI. This was the Type R really before there was a Type R. It was the hottest version of the Civic that you could buy. The beating heart of this and the essential part of any performance car, of course, is the engine. And in this case, it is a B16A. What does that mean in Honda terms? Well, B is the series, a legendary performance motor, at 1.6 litres of displacement, and it makes about 160 horsepower. The B16 is an early example of Honda's infamous VTEC, an engine system which thrives on revs. So I'm going to straighten the car out and see what she's got. You can tell that the flywheel in it is paper light. I have never made so much noise and achieved so little forward momentum. I really haven't. Oh, that's obscenely loud. But if I ignore that, and it is hard to, I'll confess, I'm actually quite liking this car. It is an oddball creation, this vehicle. There's bits of everything in here. It's got the dash from an Integra, the dials from a late model Honda S2000. Very odd to see those in here because they really shouldn't be in anything other than an S2000. Adam's got a long history with this car, and in fact many bits of it. In fact, he's sold the rear seats that came in this car and then wound up buying them back when they came in this. The gearbox, I know, is off an EK9. It's a 5-speed item and it's fitted now with a limited slip differential. Really quite nice to use. I just wish it was less incredibly antisocial. Oh, that's very annoying. Very, very annoying. I'm going to be very, very unpopular at the end of today. I've already upset my neighbours. The police came and had a chat with me as well. It's the first time in a review ever that I wound up speaking to the police. In fairness, they weren't deliberately seeking me out. They just happened to sort of come across us while we're on the side of the road sorting out cameras. But, yeah, interesting. What this car is so brilliant at is corners. Forget straight line speed. It was never, ever going to be its thing. But in the bends, it's just so wonderfully delicate. It really is. There's a joy to driving this car. I wish it would pipe down. This is worse than Anthony's 370Z. So I'm very sorry, Anthony, but your crown hath been taken from you. Some cars I drive, they're loud when you want them to be. Others are just loud and obnoxious all the time, and this unfortunately falls into that category, and it's not even a nice noise, unfortunately. This car really, Adam thought I was going to hate it. I hate the exhaust, hate the racket that it makes, especially considering the fact that it doesn't really deliver you any forward momentum for all of the noise. But it is lovely to drive. The brakes on this are one of the few things that are standard, and they work, but they're not really track spec or anything like that. They need some improvement. The pedal feel is okay, but you know, they're one of the parts of the car that don't really match the rest of it. It's not a pristine example of a car either. There's plenty of stuff that he's doing, largely cosmetic. Now, I did ask Adam how much you would have to spend if you wanted to buy a standard-ish one of these, and he said about £6,000. Now, I know there's plenty of people out there that'll believe you should be able to get something like this for an awful lot less, but unfortunately, that's just not the world we live in anymore. The days of £15,000 R34 GTRs are long gone, and they are unlikely ever to return. Even when we're told we can no longer drive these cars, they're probably going to still command a fair bit of money just as a piece of artwork and for what they represent. But this, for a fun little car, you fix that exhaust and it's quite nice. I don't even hate this seat, and I did have some real, genuine concerns about it because it is an authentic spoon item. I don't think it's incorrect to say that your average Japanese person is probably quite a bit smaller than I am, and so there are a lot of cars of this type where I've got no chance whatsoever of getting into them, but this is actually pretty darn good. It's even been signed by one of the guys from Spoon on the back, which is a very nice touch. I'm sure JDM fans would pay a heck of a lot for it. The car is also surprisingly practical, having a split folding tailgate of all things, and seats in the back which go completely flat, meaning that should you want to use this on a track day or something, there's plenty of room in the back there for spare tyres, wheels, or whatever it is that you want to take with you. I actually really do rather like this car. It's a lot of fun. It's a type of car that I previously had no interest in, and that's why, that's exactly why. I know I keep harping on about it, but it's sort of impossible to escape from the noise that that thing makes. And that is a shame because it ruins an otherwise really enjoyable car. Even the suspension, which I expected to be rock hard, isn't hideous at all. It's really very nice. Well judged, well set up for this type of car. Helps that it's very light. Somewhere between 800 and 900 kilos perhaps. Who can say? It hasn't been weighed and it hasn't been dynoed. But for driving and having a bit of fun in, it's enough. And this is the kind of road that it absolutely lives for. Thanks for watching. Thanks ever so much to Adam for lending me this. I have enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Please like, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.